What's up, guys? So, someone asked me a very interesting question I thought would be a great topic for a video. They asked me a simple question: have the gods ever answered my prayers? So, that had me thinking, what would I do and what would it mean if I said and answered that question with no? Great muses will rise and sing praises of the gods. Kind of reeled you in, didn't I? Now you're wondering, what do I mean by that? What do you mean no? But the topic brought up an interesting thing I was thinking about. Have the gods answered my prayers? So my immediate thought is I'm a very simple man with very simple requests of the gods when I pray. And that is, I pray for a good life. I pray for my family's health and the safety of the family in the home. It's basically it. I always go back to the Delphic maxim of pray for what is possible. Pray for what is possible, meaning that if you're a Hellenic Polytheist, you're taught, if you read the maxims, to not do prayers of extravagance, of stuff that's not going to ever be a realm of possibility for you. And also, it also keeps in mind that the gods are not a wish bank. They are not Santa of a list of, I pray for this, and I really hope this happens. Like, give me the lottery, great Zeus. you know? But what if the gods never answered my prayer? What if I prayed and nothing ever happened? And it kind of makes you think about, why do you believe in this spiritual path, and what do you get out of it if you don't get your prayers answered? So pray for the realistic, pray for what is possible. That really got me through. So it really goes back to, what do I get out of it? What do I get out of praying to the gods? If I never felt like my prayers are answered, even though I'm doing it like this, like, if I never felt like my prayers are answered, would I still believe in the gods? I think that's a deep question, and it's about, what are you approaching your spirituality? What are you expecting from your spirituality? Are you expecting to receive things? Are you expecting communion, or are you expecting peace? Or is this just how you view the deities? Is this how you believe? I believe in deity, in spirituality, and this is what makes sense to me. It's a many of those come together that kind of bring about what is faith. What is the faith in the spiritual that I believe in? I think that if you're in it to look for answers to prayers, if you're in it to get something out of it in the material sense, it can be a very limited, shallow thing. I think it takes all of those things to make a faith. It's how you see the deities and how you see the world, and it's what makes sense to you. And it's not just about what you can get out of it, but it is peace. I think that's the main thing, is that it is how you see the deities, is whenever you start getting a relationship, talking with them, when you feel comfortable enough to speak with them, and you get that peace. That is really what we're after in this crazy world, I think, at least for me. Like I said, I am very rooted in the realistic of prayers. I'm not expecting quote unquote giant miracles. So I'm a very simple man when it comes to prayers, and I don't require much when it comes to prayers. So what do I want? So that's what it really gets down to. So, are my prayers answered, was the question presented to me. And the answer is yes, because I pray for what I need: a healthy family, a home, and so forth. And if something happens, I continue to pray that way, because it's not just about the material stuff. It's not about that. It's about the spiritual connection that you feel in the moment of ritual, that you can feel connected to the divine. So it's a multifaceted answer. It's not just a easy answer to that question of why I believe what I believe. So the person that was asking this question, just you can tell, hasn't found what they're looking for in other spiritual paths, because they were also wanting to know about how do you even get started in Hellenic polytheism. And you have to go in with a mindset of this is just what makes sense to me when I view the world. And then you just start to pray to answer that question. That's the simple answer to how do I get started, is just begin. It really is that easy. And then you can learn the more technical stuff as you get into it. You can read, go to forums to answer the question of how do I even begin. I've done videos of it. You can check out old videos of how do you get into Hellenic polytheism. But yeah, the question of all, like I said, that started this whole video was, have the gods ever answered your prayers? And I think that when we keep it realistic and simple, of having the best advice from the doctors, having a healthy family, and having a home, those are the most important things outside of food, obviously. And the answer is yes. So the gods do answer your prayers, because that's all you need in life. You don't need giant things to happen. And when it comes to serious situations and medical situations, to keep the maximum in mind of pray for what's realistic. You don't pray for necessarily for that situation. You can, and people do, but to more than anything, you ask for the right people to come in your life to help you with certain situations, rather than expecting a giant overnight miracle to happen. You always want to pray for the realistic. Like I said, that's what keeps me grounded. And that's very important. That's a very important maxim in my life, is that it really helps in my darker times. It really does. Pray for the realistic. That way you're not disappointed. You're not disappointed. Also, you're not expecting too much, because that's just not the way it works. It's really not. Just to keep it simple. Yeah, that's it. It's a hard question, because it is a question I don't really, you don't really think about, because it's not really about answered prayers in my spirituality. It's about, for me, it's about how I see the world and what makes sense to me. And when I pray, I connect to the divine and I feel peace. And that's what I get out of it. And in the hard times, that peace is there. It's not about what they can give me, but it's about me saying thank you to them for even living, for having life. That is spirituality. That is it to me. So if the gods never gave me anything, I mean, let me never help me with anything huge, like a giant promotion or something, I would still continue to pray to the gods, because that is what matters to me, is just living, for having life, for having a roof over my head, for having food. People that don't have that. So I'm very thankful for life. And that's what spirituality is to me. That's what I pray for. And I pray to the gods that I do, because that's what I believe in, because that is what I see. And that's what connects with my life right now and how I see the world. That's what makes sense. Everyone that has a spiritual path, they follow, hopefully, a spiritual path that makes sense to them. And Hellenic polytheism, Celtic polytheism, it's no different. And so, yeah, it's not about what they can give me in spirituality. It's about what I can say to them in thanks. And I think that, that's what it matters most. And it's also, yeah, this could be a whole series that I just thought of, because there's so many other branching topics that you can go into. I won't do. But to answer the question, do the gods answer your prayers? I'd say so. And if they never did, say they never did, for something I prayed for, that's okay. I'm alive, and that's what matters. Anyway, I will talk to you I'm always thankful again for this. This is a prayer on its own. There's a whole story behind this channel of in them. I got in a message about how I was going to start a YouTube channel and it would reach people. So that alone is a prayer request, I guess, that came true. It's crazy. And I'm always thankful for it. And I'm thankful for you guys more than anything, because all I do is just share my life. That's all I do, is I keep it real and real honest. You know, I get a lot of requests or comments of people saying how real I am. And yeah, I just tell you guys how life is going. I show you my family and how it is. And if anything ever changes, you'll know about that too. Anyway, guys, I'm always thankful for you. And I guess I'll talk to you later. Bye.